evening, Steel City. Welcome to the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, our 61st edition is live from the Man Cave with the wall of Rosselberger behind me. On tonight's show, the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking for their starting quarterback. Where is he? Who is he? Does anyone really know? At this point, I feel for the Steelers, they don't even know. I don't know the guy who should be there. I do know the guy who should be there, the quarterback, and he is on the New York Jets. Yes, tampering free agency and the new football season is off to a frenzied start. The Steelers losing 35% of last year's roster. Signed some interesting players, and even trade for a stud wide receiver before all that began. I will go over all of this. Hashtag, here we go. We have a team we can call champions. The Robert Morris Colonials are the Horizon League Tournament champions. What a week for a team from Moon Township. They now await their automatic tournament bid for 2025. Let's go dancing. Hashtag Brit. Hashtag RMU champions. The Penguins get a vote of confidence by their GM, president of operations, and then go out and win 3 in a row. More NHL milestones piled into the 3 wins. Let's go Pens. I have Pirates spring training notes. Good news, bad news. A sign to come, and to keep an eye and ear out for this young Buccos pitcher. We're going to get this all started on the Yinzer Report right here on IE Sports Radio. But first, I will start off with tonight's tremendous sponsors. IE Sports Radio's new sponsor, Fido, along with the amazing Planet Jerky. Premium beef jerky, the jerkiest on the planet. And Steal the Deal Wax Seal Wax Stamp. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. With IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all out of sports and why we are doing the Yinzer Report. I will then Steel City, Pittsburgh, come join me. 61st episode live on StreamYard, 40th on StreamYard. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport. Let's go!
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Well, good evening, everybody. This is Ralph Calise, your host for the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Welcome aboard to another Friday night edition of the Yinzer Report. And as you can see, we are in the man cave again, as we are still celebrating the wall of Roethlisberger behind me with all my Ben Roethlisberger, probably our last quarterback that we had that played well on the Pittsburgh Steelers. But we'll get into that shortly. I was in the magazine, and I was. They posted me on the in the magazine. I did a show on it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm attributing to myself having the show here in my basement with my wall of Roethlisberger. All right, so yes, those were our sponsors that we just went through. So as always, please never discount our sponsors. They're very important to us. They mean a lot to us, and they have some nice jingles and they have some nice things there. You guys go out to get. We also have a new sponsor. It is Raw Nutrition Supplements. GetRawNutrition.com, and you could use promo code IESR and get yourself 10% off for your raw nutrition needs out there. So take a look at them, and we'll go down the line here. And this, again, is the Yinzer Report. You can follow me on X Twitter at these two tags. The show's tag is at Yinzer Report _IE. And my personal tag, if you want to reach out to me personally, is at Calise R786. And of course, everybody knows the 786 is for the 7 is for Ben Roethlisberger, and the 86 is for Hines Ward, my 1A, 1B favorite Pittsburgh Steelers. We also have a supporters club now that we have out there on IE Sports Radio for actually all the shows. So any show out there that you like, that you want to support, of course, if you'd like to support this one with your host, Ralph Calise, you'd be doing me a solid. I'd appreciate it. And there is the link below. If you see it on the ticker, you can jump on that, and you could throw $5 out there for your best friend Ralph Calise, or your host here, wherever you deem me, and help me along on my journey and the radio station IE Sports Radio's journey. To get ourselves out there and get ourselves well known, which we are on our way. And everybody on the station does a great job, but just with a little support to give us that little bit of push will always mean a lot to us. So appreciate your time and listening to that from me. And let's get into why we are here. And the first topic we are going to do is, of course, our beloved Pittsburgh Steelers, who I'll put this up there first. Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback mess began a long time ago. But what we'll do is I'll go over what had happened as far as the free agency and everything and all that. So what had happened last Sunday night? The Steelers, they had traded for DK Metcalf from Seattle, which was a surprise that nobody really saw coming. At least the real fans out there that follow the Steelers. Not all these people that are out there saying they're getting this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. Like I mentioned last week, and they went out. They traded for DK Metcalf from the Seahawks, and now he is paired up with George Pickens. And the Steelers, believe it or not, even though we still have a quarterback, which we'll get into shortly, those are two demons on the outside. The trade was made and things were said that, okay, now we got two possible head cases on each side on wide receiver. What's going to happen? But I will say DK Metcalf came out in his press conference yesterday because they both wear number 14. And, if there was going to be any fisticuffs or whatever you want to say it, he put an end to that. He told George Pickens, you go out there and make your own name, keep your number 14. I'm going to wear number 4. So I found that pretty interesting. That was pretty cool by him to do. We have to get George Pickens straight no matter who our quarterback is, because George Pickens is a talent. And the only thing that's stopping him is this up here. And he'll now be on the other side of DK Metcalf. And when we get a quarterback, I think the Steeler wide receivers are pretty set. So, all right. So let's get into what had happened. The tampering free agency, it's called, before Wednesday, which was the Happy Football New Year, where they actually could start signing people. So we'll go back a little bit when the season ended. The Steelers owners, Art Rooney, kind of said changes would be made. Mike Tomlin said this will be a different team that will start in next season in 2025. And the team GM Omar Khan said recently, you will see a big difference in 2025 in the Steelers team. So now came the free agency period. And here's who left the team and was signed by different teams. So the first one was offensive lineman Dan Moore, who was a starter. He went to Tennessee. Cornerback Dante Johnson went to the Chargers. That was the cornerback they got in the trade for Deontay Johnson last year, you remember. So he only played a year with the Steelers, but he actually led us in interceptions last year. Offensive lineman James Daniels, he went to Miami. He was one of the linemen that got hurt at the beginning of the year. And I'll get into this in a little bit. Justin Fields of the Jets, who your host here, Ralph Calise, everybody out there knows, wanted him to be our quarterback next year. Signed 2 years with the New York Jets. So not only did he leave the Steelers, now I have to watch him play for the New York Jets. And everybody out there who knows me knows how I feel about the New York Jets. Najee Harris, God bless Najee Harris for the time he gave us in Pittsburgh. He also signed with the Los Angeles Chargers 1 year. Mike Williams, remember Mike Williams? The Steelers signed him from the Jets like towards the middle of the year, a little after middle of the year. They never threw him. They threw the ball maybe once or twice. He scored 2 touchdowns. They never threw the ball to him again. He's gone. He signed with the Chargers. So right there, you got 3 guys that signed with the Chargers. Another wide receiver, Van Jefferson, signed with Tennessee. Defensive end Larry Ogunjobi signed with Buffalo. And another guy who left that I really liked, which I wish would have would have stayed was linebacker Eldon Roberts. He went to the Las Vegas Raiders, and he was a spark plug in there for us. He played linebacker, and he did everything he had to do. So that totals up to 35% of the Steelers' starting lineup, offensive and defensively. So, hey, 35-40% of your starting lineup is gone. So now you got to replace these guys. So between the owner, Mike Tomlin, and Omar Khan, they all said things were going to look different. And I'd say 40%, 35% is a big part of looking different next year. So now here are the comings for the Steelers. Like I mentioned, DK Metcalf was traded for a second-round pick. That was the Steelers' second-round pick this year, 52nd overall, and a seventh-round pick this year also, which was number 223. And Seattle gave back the Steelers a sixth-round pick, number 185. So they got DK Metcalf for 2 draft picks, and the Steelers got 1 draft pick back. They also signed linebacker Malik Harrison to a 2-year contract from the Baltimore Ravens, believe it or not. That's 2 years in a row now they've signed linebackers from the Ravens. Last year was Patrick Queen. This was an interesting signing. They signed running back Kenneth Gainwell from the Philadelphia champion Eagles to a 1-year contract. So now you're going to have your starter is going to be Jaylen Warren, who the Steelers love. And he was a great change of pace guy when he came into the game. The only problem is can he play a lot of downs? But this guy here, Kenneth Gainwell, I believe was a good pickup. He's a great backup. He backed up Barkley. And I believe he had his best game against the Steelers when Barkley got hurt. So I like that signing. This one was off the radar, but it came up. Cornerback Brandon Echols from the Jets. They signed him to a 2-year contract. And this kid, every highlight I saw from him was having pick sixes on the Jets. He was in the Jet defense, and he was running back pick sixes. So he'll fit in nice with the secondary. Cornerback Darius Slay from the Eagles again, the champion Eagles. Very close with Mike Tomlin from what I read, what I saw about the signing. And, he's going to be in that secondary. He's going to be not only a good cornerback for us, I believe, but he'll also be a teacher for our young guys. Joey Porter, who's, struggled a little bit last year. Maybe he could take him under his wing. And, of course, you'll have Minka and you'll have Deshaun Elliott in the safety. You'll have this kid, Brandon Echols, I guess, come in as like the third down guy. And don't forget good old Beanie Wells from last year. And now here we go. They also, yesterday they had just signed 2 guys back that they had on the team last year. Wide receiver Scotty Miller and wide receiver special teamers Ben Skoranek. So I think their wide receiving corps is set. And I think I saw before I came on, Cooper Kupp signed with the Seahawks. I thought the Steelers would maybe be interested in him to make that wide receiving corps an elite wide receiving corps, but that had passed by. And then the signing of the free agency period, here we go. Quarterback Mason Rudolph is back in Pittsburgh, and we are going to get into that right now. So as I put up there, the Pittsburgh quarterback mess began a long time ago. And here is what I mean by that. I went back and I mentioned this once on a show a long time ago that the Steelers screwed this up a long time ago when Ben Roethlisberger was still a quarterback. So here was the write-up I did on it. Quarterback situation goes back to 2021. Ben Roethlisberger's last year at as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Sure, you can be annoyed with Aaron Rodgers for taking his time. If yes, it is going to be Aaron Rodgers who will play for the Steelers. Will he sign? We don't know. Is he going to sign with the Steelers? Is he going to play? We don't know. We can't. Nobody can predict what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. Is he holding the Steelers hostage? Yeah, you could say he's holding a bunch of teams hostage because he's not making a decision. But anyway, getting back to this, The blame falls on the Pittsburgh Steelers, on the owner Rooney, Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, and even former GM Kevin Colbert. Their handling of the quarterback spot since Ben's final years has been like amateur hour, mistake after mistake, not seeing a future after Ben Roethlisberger by drafting quarterbacks in the later rounds, except for Mason Rudolph, who was a third-round pick. While Roethlisberger was digressing and Tomlin and company were riding Ben's Hall of Fame career to the turf, then having a chance at Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson, choosing, you ready for these names? Chase Claypool and Terrell Edmonds. The Steelers never groomed a quarterback. We actually thought we had a good one with Kenny Pickett, but Tomlin and his coaches screwed his development, especially with Matt Canada. Remember him? All these quarterbacks the Steelers thought with Big Ben's heir apparent had the lack of reps as rookies in OTAs and training camp. It was butchered from day one by all in the organization when Ben was here and when he left. And poor Kenny Pickett was tossed aside, in my opinion, for a washed-up Russell Wilson. There sure are, and you can believe me on this one, so many others involved in this, but the list is too many to mention. Now, I was writing these notes. I actually was away in Florida, so I was taking down, trying to take in everything that was going on. And I was writing. I was carrying a book around with a log, and people were staring at me. They thought I was taking notes on the hotel or something. It was hysterical. Anyway, as of Thursday, after not going after Justin Fields, as I just mentioned, he signed with the Jets, in just another horrible move, and letting Russell Wilson leave the city, which was a good move to me, they circled back and signed good old backup to Ben Roethlisberger, Mason Rudolph, who right now, as far as I'm concerned, is our starter. Because who knows what's going on out there. Remember the last we seen of Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett was benched, and Rudolph was the starter. He came in for the last 3 games in 2023. They were all must-wins, and putting the Steelers in the playoffs, winning all 3 games, but then actually losing to Buffalo in the first round. His stats were 55 of 74, 719 yards, and 3 TDs with a 118 passer rating. And his wins were the win versus Cincinnati at home, the away game at Seattle, and at Baltimore was another win. And I have fond memory. I just want to bring this up. I have fond memory of that game at Seattle because that was the day I told Larry B., our CEO of IE Sports Radio, that yes, I would do the Yinzer report for him. I remember sitting at my son's house. I was sitting on the couch, and I got the text from Larry B., and I signed on with that on that game. So that game will always have special memory to me. That was also that's it. So that also was the year Mitch Trubisky had his hands on the offense, and boy, did he not work out. Damn, it's truly amazing when you look at it. How has Tomlin and the Steelers had this incredible run of winning seasons? But with that said, his 6-game losing streak in the playoffs shows its true colors, and the quarterback play is the reason for that, no doubt. So as we wait on the new Steelers quarterback, because the signing of Rudolph was considered it to be a backup role. So keep that in mind. When they signed him, they said he was going to be the backup. So who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I do not see the Steelers getting it right again with their quarterback situation. If it's going to be Mason Rudolph, it's going to be Mason Rudolph. See what happens. Maybe they're going to try to draft somebody. I don't know, but let me continue on here. If, and that's a big if it's Rodgers does come to Pittsburgh, I think it's a good fit, especially now with a new offense with more weapons than last year. Yes, Rodgers is probably the Steelers' last quarterback in line, for them to choose. But again, a quarterback who started for the Jets last year, played in all 17 games, starting them all. His stats were 368 out of 584 with a 63 completion percentage, 3,897 yards, 28 TDs, and 11 INTs, 2 fourth-quarter comebacks, and 3 game-winning drives out of the 5 wins the Jets posted. Really is better than any Steeler quarterback put up in the past 6 years. So I even went back and combined all the stats to Aaron Rodgers' last year's season with the Jets, and it's not even close. Unless there is some secret trade the Steelers are cooking up, or another thought, probably drafting a quarterback this year, hopefully to pull a Bo Nix or Michael Penix out of the draft, or even this kid Dart from Ole Miss, who they scouted hard at the Combine. Oh, this is pain. It pains me to say Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback to bridge us to our next Steelers quarterback starter. That's only though if the damn black and gold gets its crap together and they get a quarterback situation right. So that's my thoughts on the Aaron Rodgers thing, and whether he's coming here or not, who knows? You can't. It's like I saw somebody post the other day. So how's your scrolling day going, or who's going to be the next Steelers quarterback? Not this guy. Not this guy. When it happens, it happens. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. There's no need to get crazy over something like that. If Mason Rudolph is going to be the guy, let him be the guy. He's got a great offense around. He's going to have a good offense around him, and we'll see what happens. That maybe will bridge us to our quarterback who will come out of the draft next year, because this year's quarterback draft really isn't that great when you look at it. So I just let it go. Let it go. Don't let it drive you nuts. And when it happens, it happens. There was reports out there saying that one of those people on that 4-letter network, which I hate to mention because I don't watch that show, that station at all, mentioned that it was a done deal, and he said that he was signing with the Steelers. But you can't go by what these people are saying. All right, so let's get to the Yinzer report chatter. All right, so we'll start it off. Terran Rodriguez. Good evening, Ralph. Have an awesome show. Thank you, Terran. I, as a Chargers fan, thank you for Najee Harris, Dante Jackson, and Mike Williams. He was ours to begin with. That's a good point. That Mike Williams did start with the Chargers. And Terran, all I ask of you guys out there is please take care of my man Najee Harris, because you got yourself some running back, some type of running back who is he's an animal. He's an animal. Raymond Mann, hi Ralph, have a great show now. Let's go. Yes, sir. Let's go, Ray. Larry B. Hey, Ralph. What's up, Larry B? I mentioned you there. I'm glad you heard what I said. Say it ain't so. No Rodgers to Pittsburgh, right? I don't know, Larry. Like I just said, I'm letting all this garbage and chatter and whatever's going on just go. Look, he might be it might be after the draft before we know who's going to be the quarterback. So we'll see what happens. He comes here. You know, well, that's it. They signed Mason Rudolph. They said he was going to be a backup. So something's going on. If they're going to come out and tell us that Mason Rudolph is signed to be a backup, they have in their heads out there somebody who's in their mind that's going to be the starting quarterback. So who it is, we'll see. We'll see. Don't drive yourself crazy over it. That's all I'm trying to say. And there is my son, Anthony Calise. He says, DK is a monster. He and George Pickens will go off. Now get me Rodgers. Wow, look at my son's even hooked. Remember, my son was on the show and he said, I don't want any of those old guys, Rodgers. I even said it too a couple of weeks ago. But you know what? Like I just read, I think he's the best fit for this team right now. And with those stats, how could you go wrong? You could go wrong. How could you go wrong? But we'll see what happens. My nephew, Danny Man. Hey, Ralph, have a great show. Thank you, Danny. And thanks again for all you do for my show. Danny Man, endless Steelers mediocre quarterback carousel. You said it. You said it. That is a great point right there. Brian Fancioni, you guys got Metcalf. LOL. Welcome, Ralph. Have a great show. Thank you, Brian. And my buddy Raymond Man, who is a Jet fan. Jets say thank you for Fields. Oh, man, I got to watch this guy play for the Jets now this year. Unbelievable. I wanted them to give him the chance so bad. I don't know but what happened between him and the Steelers. Well, we know Mike Tomlin shafted him, that's for sure. And maybe he took that to heart, and he didn't like that. I know he did say that he wanted if he was going to sign with the Steelers, he did say they would have to tell him that he was going to be the starter. There's going to be no BS in between. I guess they didn't tell him that because he went to the Jets. So that's it for the Steelers. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I'm going to take a break, and when I get back, we're going to talk about a team who won a championship in Pittsburgh. College basketball, the Robert Morris Colonials. This team has got Pittsburgh a buzz, man. I'm gonna get into that right after this. This is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And we'll be back after these messages and other colleague shows drops.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That give you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
How we doing, sports fans? This is Christian Harvey, your host of Gritsville, USA, your go-to show for all things Detroit and Michigan here on IE Sports Radio. Whether you're here for Gritty Lions talk, getting pumped up for the great Detroit sports renaissance, or hating on your neighbor depending on if they were green or blue, we got you covered. Whether you're in the East, West, or Central, we got you covered. Join me as we tackle through all that the great state of Michigan has to offer in the world of sports. Catch me, Christian Harvey, each week on Gritsville, USA, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, welcome back. This is Ralph Calise, your host of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And our next topic will be some college basketball. And we have the Robert Morris Colonials are your Horizon League champions. Man, I started doing this team 3 weeks ago, and I've been following them since. They were the champs of the league, and now they became the champs of the Horizon League this past Wednesday, I believe it was Tuesday or Wednesday. Man, and I tell you, this team, they now are going to get an automatic tournament bid. So when the tournament comes out Sunday, keep an eye on it. I believe they'll probably be like a 12 to a 14 seed. I don't see any lower seed than that. The rankings out there have them as a 14 seed in the tournament, but let's just go over how they got there. And Monday night was their first was their semifinal game of the tournament. They played in the Cortiva Coliseum in Indianapolis for the Horizon League tournament, and they played a team called the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, who were the 6th seed. And, of course, Robert Morris Colonials were the 1st seed. The Colonials have won the game 79-76 in OT. It was a nail-biter. Believe me, it was. The Colonials of RMU had Cam Woods put up 23 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists to lead 5 players. Again, were in double figures in points. Remember, I mentioned that on a prior show that they only play really 7 players. And usually their starters are all averaging over 10 points. Happened again in this game. The Colonials of RMU started out slow and went on a separate drought of over 2 minutes and fell behind by 13 points at one point of the matchup with 15:46 left in the game. Down by 13, the Colonials put up a 7-0 run to cut the lead to 6, and Oakland went without a point in the next 2 minutes and 39 seconds. But with their hashtag grit defense, they saw fear in Oakland's play. Robert Morris was attacking more now. RMU was closing in at taking a 1-point lead with 5:04 to go, leading 64-63. It came down to the end of the game where they actually hit a 3-point play to tie the game. And it was Cam Woods. He had a 2-point bucket and a foul. He hit the free throw, and it was 74-74 at the end of the game with 3 seconds left. They went to overtime, and right off the bat, DJ Smith hit a 3-pointer after 2 minutes of no scoring in the overtime. Free throws by Oakland made it 77-75. And yet again, before I mentioned Cam Woods, right back at the Golden Grizzlies, hit a jumper, and the grit defense of the Robert Morris Colonials allowed no field goals in for the rest of the game, just 1 free throw, and the final score was 79-76. They move on to the championship game of the Horizon League tournament. I took some notes on the summary here. Cam Woods, He was the leading scorer. He scored 19 of his 23 points after halftime. And DJ Smith, as we mentioned, hit the go-ahead 3 in overtime to help the top-seeded RMU Colonials survive an upset from the 6th-seed Oakland Golden Grizzlies, 79-76. Horizon League men's basketball tournament semifinal game was a thriller. The Colonials are now 25-8. They have won 9 in a row and will play for the Horizon League tournament championship versus the Youngstown State Penguins. Notice how it's the Penguins, and the Penguins are from Pittsburgh too. Woods was just cold-blooded in this game all night. He had a 3-point play to force the overtime. DJ Smith hit behind the arc 30 seconds into overtime, and Woods hit a jumper to account for all of Robert Morris's points in overtime. Horizon League Men's Basketball Player of the Year, Alvaro Fulgaris, had 12 points and 3 rebounds, but was in foul trouble for most of the game, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise because he didn't play a lot of the game, but he did, I guess, rest himself for the championship game. But they really dodged a bullet there by him being out all that time because he was in foul trouble. He was on the bench. All right, so now came the championship game, and they played the 4th seed. This was Tuesday. I'm sorry, I said Wednesday before. They played the 4th seed, the Youngstown State Penguins, who were 21-13 on the season. They were the 4th seed, of course, going up against our number 1 Robert Morris Colonials, again at the Cretiva Coliseum. The Horizon League Tournament Championship game, and your Robert Morris Colonials come out 89-78 win in a game that they never trailed. So Josh Omajafo's 24 points sends RMU past Youngstown State to claim the Horizon title and an NCAA bid. So at the Cretiva Coliseum in Indianapolis, Josh Omajaffo scored 24 points at 13 rebounds, and RMU beat Youngstown State 89-78 to claim the Horizon League Tournament Championship and clinch an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. It's finally dancing time in Pittsburgh. RMU will make its 9th appearance in the NCAA tournament, most recently in 2015 when the Colonials beat North Florida in the first 4 game before losing to number 1 seed and eventual champion Duke in the first round. Josh Omajaffo led all 5 RMU starters in double figures in the scoring column. Cam Wood, 17 points. Alvaro Fulgaris, 14 points. Marion Dickerson, 13 points. DJ Smith, 11 points. Just how RMU wins its games all year. They saved their best for the championship game. All 5 starters scored double figures again. That was a stat we just mentioned. They'll be leading them to the most important victory for this team this season thus far. RMU led the whole way. They built an 11-0 lead and hit a buzzer-beating 2-point basket to lead 34-29 at halftime. Youngstown State closed to 54-52, but Player of the Year Alvaro Fulgaris completed a big 3-point basket, and the Penguins of Youngstown State never got closer. RMU created a safe distance towards the win, outscoring Youngstown State 11-5 in a 4-minute stretch with clutch 3-pointers from Fulgaris, Omajaffo, and Prather Jr. One last dagger 3 by Fulgaris with just about 2 minutes left. Game RMU, its largest lead at 78-65. There was no comeback by Youngstown State and no OT needed this time. The Robert Morris Colonials are the Horizon League champions, and it was well-deserved. It really was. The way this team came on, where they were predicted not to really do anything, as I did the research on them for you guys, and this is where we're at. So they now have 16 wins in their last 17 games. They are the Horizon League champs. Number 8, Cam Woods, mentioned a lot in these notes here, was named the Horizon League Men's Basketball Tournament MVP. And this is the 10th straight win by RMU. Once again, only 7 players deep for the gritty team to preserve the win. Let's not forget, from a 2-4 start in conference play to this just great run for the RMU Colonials and NCAA bound. The special season continues for Andy O'Toole and company. It continues. Major credit is owed to the coach, Andy O'Toole. Some may call it masterful. 12 months. Also, after winning just 10 games, RMU has tallied 26 victories and punched its ticket to the 2025 tournament. O'Toole has led the program to its best league in to say so far. He also had them in the NEC to show that this meant that the coach was not fooling around this time. One other note about Coach O'Toole: over a half hour after the win of the tournament game, Andy O'Toole still held the game ball under his left arm as he stated already, as Colonials completed the mission most thought they couldn't do this year. O'Toole did not want to let the ball go. So he wasn't letting the game ball go for the championship. And I'm sure if I know the way coaches in college are, he probably went to sleep with it. So, hey, we'll see. I guess we got a team to track in the tournament, and we will track them in the tournament. And the brackets come out Sunday. As you know, there's all kinds of tournament basketball going on right now. League tournaments out there all over the place. And, we're going to track the Robert Morris Colonials. Hashtag GRIT, GRIT. Check them out. Go check them out on social media. Robert Morris Men's Basketball. Go check out their Twitter site. They're a pretty good site. Pretty good site. They'll tell you everything you need to know. All right, so we're going to take one more break. And when we get back, we're going to do the Penguins with their milestones and some Pirates training news. All right, this is the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. We will be back right after this.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr. and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Big Mike from Indy Sports Nation. Come hang out with me each and every Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time, where we talk things Indiana sports. We talk Colts, Pacers, Fever, Indy Ignite, and we dive into the college scene as well. Boilermakers, Hoosiers, Irish, Bulldogs, and every school in between. And we don't stop there. We'll sprinkle in some NHRA and cover the IndyCar Series. From the turf to the hardwood to the track, we got you covered. Come hang out with your boy, Big Mike, each and every Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Indy Sports Nation, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, welcome back. This is Ralph Calise, your host of the Yinzer Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's get into some Penguins hockey as we go along here. Coming towards the end of the show, the Penguins have won 3 in a row. They beat the Wild in their first win of the 3-game streak, and old friend Marc-Andre Fleury. Remember, Marc-Andre Fleury was a goalie for the Penguins when they won the Stanley Cup the last 2 times. And their last 2 home games was an OT win versus Vegas and a nice win versus St. Louis last night. They're still 26-31-10, and they're 8th in the Metro. Still about 9 to 11 points out of the last playoff spot. But they did get some good news from President of Hockey Operations and General Manager Kyle Dubas, as he sent a message assessing the Penguins after the trade deadline, saying, "We have spent the last 12 months accruing assets and accruing flexibility and cap space. Now we will begin to shift to the execution of that. Our goal, as I've stated here a number of times, is to return the team to contention as urgently as possible." So we'll see what happens with that. I mean, he's a smart guy. Kyle Dubas, from what I know about him, is he's a really smart general manager. So if he's saying that, then he's got a plan. He's got a plan. And I wrote here, as we've been reporting here on the Yinzer Report, the Penguins wins equals accomplishments and milestones. So here we go, as I have written on the page there. Versus the Wild, Mike Sullivan, the head coach, became the 14th NHL head coach in history and ninth to win 400 games with a single franchise. Sullivan is the only American-born head coach to accomplish that feat. Great feat right there, 400 wins. Going on to Vegas, when they won in Vegas, Crosby is special. Just let this fact sink in. Sidney Crosby has recorded a multi-goal game versus 31 different franchises, the most among all players in NHL history. The only other teams left are Utah and, yes, our Pittsburgh Penguins. Crosby, 2 more goals, has 70 points at 37 years old, just going like a fine wine. A true Pittsburgh icon is the captain. That's some stat right there. He's had a multi-goal game versus 31 different franchises, and the only 2 are Utah, which is that new team this year, and of course the team he's only played for, the Penguins. So keep that in mind next time he plays Utah. I don't know if they play him again this year. I don't think they do. The Penguins then went on to play the Blues, and here's some notes from that game. The Penguins have never lost to the Blues at the PPG Paints Arena. They're 5-0 forever versus them. Versus the Blues last night, the Penguins, with Connor Dewar scoring his first goal, joining the team, became the 27th player to score for the Penguins this season, the most in the NHL. 27 guys have scored for the Penguins this year, and that is the most in the NHL this year. And Tristan Jarry is back. Remember the goaltending problem we were having? They brought him back, and he regained his place as the Penguins starter, as the netminder, bringing the Penguins to the 3 wins in a row. So good for him. Good for the Penguins. Hey, they're winning. they're setting milestones, but I don't think we're going to have Pittsburgh playoffs in the Berg this year. Good question, Brian. He asks, did he do it when they were in Phoenix? I guess yes. I would say yes. Because there's 32 teams in the NHL, and the only two he hasn't is Pittsburgh, which is one, so you can't really count them, and Phoenix would be the other. So 32 teams now is Utah. But I'm going to look that up, Brian. That is a great question. Great question. Thanks for the question. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so let's get into the Pirates as we're coming fastly to the end here. They took some notes of the Pirates in spring training. And I'm going to do a bad news, good news, signs to come, and keeping an eye on and an ear out for. So here we go. Monday, manager, this is the bad news. Monday, manager Derek Shelton announces Key Brian Hayes was experiencing left side tightness and has not played since March 5th. Shelton did say he is lightly fielding ground balls and taking very light swings. It's a good sign, but in the end, it's bad news because we know Key Brian Hayes is a key part of that infield. And 2 shows back, I did a whole thing on him about recovering from the injury and him saying he felt well and all those things. So now we have to monitor this. The good news is the catching situation for the Pirates going through camp. It's been solid with probable starter Joey Bart. His leadership at the position has been second to none. The good old change of scenery was the major factor here as he came over from San Francisco in a trade last year, now making him the catcher of the Pirates' near future. His prior solid season defensively behind the plate and solid batting are leadership intangibles for the position, and it's just what the Pirates need. He's at 3 home runs, 6 games, 364 batting average, and is helping out as well with the backup catchers who will be behind him. Bart is maintaining the leadership, was coming into camp fairly and working hard at his craft. It's just a telltale sign of his leadership. And what I meant there is that he came into camp early to start working with the pitchers and I guess on himself, and it's paying off. So that'll be your starting catcher for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Joey Bart, B-A-R-T. Now I put down signs of the times. Now, I remember last week I mentioned I was all pumped up that the Pirates were going to be playing opening day in Pittsburgh versus the Yankees, and we were going to get a Paul Skeens versus Garrett Cole matchup. Maybe the Yinzer report here jinxed it because Garrett Cole is now out, and he's going to be having Tommy John surgery. So who knows if even Paul Skeens is going to pitch that game. But he did pitch Tuesday versus the Yankees. He gave up 1 run, 4 innings, 74 pitches. He had a wild pitch, 5 strikeouts. The only run he gave up was a home run. And he showed a wicked pickoff move resulting in an out. He actually picked somebody off. Now being touted as baseball's next best thing and a burden to MLB teams, promptly MLB to consider this a blessing. His stats in that game was 4-inning pitch, so they let him go 4 innings already in spring training. That just goes to tell you the season's right around the corner. He gave him 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 base on balls, 74 pitches, 44 strikes, and 11 whiffs. That's swings and misses. And I took this note down, and then the next day the guy got sent down to spring training pirate camp. But I'll put his name out there anyway. We'll keep an eye on him. So to keep an eye and an ear out for number 70, Eddie Yen, Y-E-A-N. Spring training this far, he has a 0 ERA in 6 innings pitched. His credentials show a 95.7 mile per hour sinker, 2,322 revolutions per minute. These are all these new stats you can dig up on pitches and batters now in baseball. It's just insane. 11 IVB. What is IVB? Is induced vertical break. So that's 11 inches vertical break and a 20-inch also inch inch vertical break. Induced vertical break and an inch vertical break. They're the same thing, but in inches. So we'll keep an eye out for him. But now he got sent down to the Pirate spring training minor league camp. So basically, he's not going to make the team. But hopefully, he plays for the AAA team, and we'll keep an eye on him. And the way pitchers go up and down, maybe he'll get a chance to come up. All right, let's go back to the chat. We'll throw in one more out of the Yinzer chatter chat, and it's "What's up, Ralph?" Tapping in. Have a great show, and that is our man from the Tornado Turnover, Freddie Carter. Him and his wife Angela, two of the greatest people I've met since I've been here at IE Sports Radio. Freddie, my man, thanks for tuning in. And what a great way to end the show, seeing you pop up there on my show. So once again, everybody, that is tonight's show. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Yinzer Report. For all that is sports, I want to thank everybody out there in the busy chat tonight. You guys showed up for me tonight. Of course, the one and only Terran Rodriguez. The guy is just a gem. Terran, you are a gem, and thank you for everything you do. My buddy Raymond Mann. Larry B., you are the man, the myth, the creator. Thanks for joining in. My son, I love you as always, kid. Danny Mann, my nephew, I thank you for everything you do for me, for my show, helping me along. And Brian from the Boston show. Terran, you're all over my chat here. I thank you very much. Thanks for all your help. And Freddie Carter, like I just said. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Enjoy the college basketball, and who knows where the Steelers quarterback is. Maybe we'll have some news on him next week. All right, so enjoy your night. Enjoy your weekend. This is the Yinzer Report. Thank you, Pittsburgh. Have a great night.